as much as I love LL Cool J, Jay-Z, I mean, let's just call it for what it is. And I preface this with the most sincere respect and love. And, you know, LL Cool J, when I met you in the club like 19 years ago, you know what I mean? We dapped each other up, you know what I mean? We gave each other some dap, yo, you know what I mean? Yo, LL, you know what I mean? We embraced. I gotta say that, of course, Jay-Z is the better lyricist between him and LL. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that though, because how can you beat records like I Need Love? How can you beat records like the Jack the Ripper or Rock the Bells? Those is timeless classic records right there. Well, listen, as I patiently await the announcement for what the next versus battle will be, you know, there's plenty of speculation going on who's gonna be next, but we'll just have to wait and see for that announcement. I was sitting back thinking, you know, I was like, yo, like LL Cool J needs to do a versus, of course. There's plenty of talk about LL Cool J doing a versus at the top of the pandemic about roughly a year ago. You know, his name was being thrown into the hat a lot. And some names were being thrown around of people who LL could go up against. You know, we had Busta Rhymes' name thrown into the hat. LL said he didn't want to do a versus with Busta Rhymes because Busta Rhymes was too loud. And there would be a styles clash between him and Busta Rhymes. I don't know, LL, you ducking a little smoke, bruh? I don't know, I don't agree with that. He said he didn't want to do a versus with Big Daddy Kane because him and Big Daddy Kane were real good friends and they were cool and super cool, and that wouldn't be a good matchup. I don't know about that. It sounds like you ducking a little smoke, bro. But anyway, you know, Ice Cube's name came up and he said, Cube is my man's in them, but, you know, Cube, you know, it's another style clash. He says, you know, LL have, you know, records for the ladies and the party records, while Cube have the more serious hardcore records, so he thought that that would be a styles clash. Sounds like you ducking a little smoke, bro. Anyway, so the name that was heavily touted around was Hov, Jay-Z. You know, I think LL pretty much was letting the cat out the bag and letting everybody know that, yo, this is the dude that I want to go up against in a versus with. Not Cube, not Busta, not Kane, but Jay. For some reason, for some reason, LL was more receptive of going up against Hov out of all the names that was being thrown around. I think even Missy Elliott's name came up to go against LL Cool J, I think, if I remember correctly. But L seemed like, yo, he wanted to, you know what I'm saying, give Jay-Z that work. So, you know, would LL Cool J versus Jay-Z be a good versus? First of all, Jay-Z ain't coming out the house for nobody to do a versus. I mean, you could barely get Jay-Z to do a verse on somebody's record right now in 2021, let alone do a versus. I can never see Jay-Z coming out of his house, you know what I'm saying, coming out of his billion-dollar empire that he has to do a versus against anybody. Let's just get that out the way. This is all hypothetical, lyrical, hypothetical, you know what I'm saying, chatter right here I'm doing right now. But I can see LL maybe doing a versus one day. I can definitely see that, but I can't see Jay. First of all, I can't see LL or Jay agreeing to go up against LL. No, absolutely not. If Jay came out for anybody, he's gonna come out to do a versus with Nas, and that's who he should do a versus with, Nas. But I would love to see a LL Cool J versus. But if you really think about it, we kind of got behind the scenes of LL Cool J versus Jay-Z in real time and in real life some years ago when LL Cool J did factually battle Jay-Z outside of a nightclub. LL Cool J also battled Sauce Money and Jaz-O, both Jay-Z affiliates, that same night, back to back to back. So on one hand, you could say we already seen LL Cool J versus Jay-Z in real life. I mean, it's been documented. Check the YouTube videos out. Plenty of people that was there said that they saw it. They said that LL, you know, didn't necessarily fare as well as he should have against Jay-Z, you know, that night. But you could also say that LL had his hands full that night, because not only did he battle Jay-Z, but he battled a couple dudes before Jay-Z. I think the pecking order was Sauce Money, Jay-Z, and Jaz-O. According to Sauce Money, he did on an interview with my guy Doggy Diamonds. He said that, you know, LL Cool J, he gave him credit because he said LL Cool J manned up, stepped up to the plate and battled 3 dudes back to back to back that night outside of a nightclub spontaneously. LL battled Sauce Money, Jay-Z, and Jaz-O. I don't necessarily know if that was the exact pecking order. According to Sauce Money, it was, but that's a little murky. But I mean, listen, And even LL said out of his own mouth, on a Sway in the Morning interview about almost 3 years ago, that he battled Jay-Z outside of a nightclub, but he pretty much, ran out of his clip was empty. He started to run out of, he started to run out of ammo. He started to run out of rhymes because he had already been battling back to back to back. And he was already battling for a long time before he, for Jay-Z stepped to the plate. So he was kind of exhausted and he ran out of rhymes. LL mentioned that himself. I wish I had that clip, but I remember hearing that interview on Sway in the Morning about 3 years ago now. So yeah, I mean, listen, LL Cool J versus Jay-Z versus, I think would be good. I think it would be absolutely good. I think it would be very entertaining. I think that their catalogs are vastly different, because we have Jay-Z's catalog, which is, more. Jay-Z has everything that LL has, though. That's the thing. LL doesn't get as autobiographical and streetwise, and doesn't really dig too deep into those street records like Jay-Z. So that's why I think it would be interesting to see how they would fare. But Jay-Z has some of the similar same records and styles that LL Cool J does. And Jay-Z can get into that LL Cool J bag and have a stash of records and songs just for the ladies, or, the club joints, the party joints. So LL does, Jay-Z and LL's catalog, even though it sounds a little different, because Jay-Z got the streets on lock when it comes to that. But Jay does have those records that can match up to LL Cool J, Hey Lover, or Jingling Baby, or, I Need Love. Or, even if LL decided to throw I'm the Type of Guy in there, which I don't think that would be used in a versus. I'm the type of guy. But LL does have, Jay-Z does have those records that can match up exceptionally well with LL. So I think it would be very good to see. And, records, I don't see there being an issue. Music catalog wise, I'm not even going to call that. I'll leave that up to y'all. I can't sit up here and say that Jay-Z, I can't pick a winner when it comes to their musical catalogs. It's just, I love both of their catalogs. Now battling, that's a whole nother conversation. I wasn't there for that battle that happened some 30 years ago, 25 years ago, or whenever it happened back in the early 90s. So I would love to see them go at it, because LL Cool J can get into battle mode, and I think LL can crush somebody definitely in battle mode. If we talk and put all the records aside, and we talking about strictly rock micing and battling, I'm giving that to LL Cool J. But also, we heard the stories of we've heard the stories of Jay-Z battling Busta Rhymes in high school and DMX. So Jay-Z is a proven vet. I think these are just two, even though I'm giving the edge to Jay-Z lyrically, these are two even MCs. I mean, they're about the same age. They're from the same era. So this is very even right here. One thing that I will say that LL Cool J undoubtedly does have over Hove is that LL Cool J puts on a better performance than Jay-Z. Jay-Z performances are nowhere near as energetic, nowhere near as live, nowhere near as just, LL Cool J goes from one end of the stage to the other, crowd reaction, just hyped up. LL Cool J will definitely puts on a better show than Jay-Z. Well, Jay-Z just be on the mic, just doing his thing in his smooth style, smooth delivery. LL Cool J is definitely a better live performer than Jay-Z. So I think seeing them two in a versus live on stage, it would be awesome, because you're going to get LL in his full element. So, and we've seen just with the Locks versus Dipset, the versus is not just getting up there playing 20 records. It's all about, now that everybody's outside and it's, crowds there and it's in front of people and not just on your cell phones and your camera phones, and, versus is just in a room with no audience. Versus has like a whole audience and crowd now. Versus is more or less about performance than it is the actual songs. Just look at the performance that Jada put on. Jada won that versus between Dipset alone, just in his energy and his hypeness and his performance. So LL Cool J could possibly get the best of Jay-Z in a potential versus, because LL, like I said, is the better performer. And he's going to give you the better showmanship and just a better performance on stage overall. So versus it ain't just, let's just throw these 20 records out there, these ill records, Where I'm From and So Ghetto and all the other street bangers and street anthems that Jay got. L, you know what I'm saying, could throw on, you know what I'm saying, Mama Said Knock You Out and literally kill Jay-Z with a live, energetic, sweaty, pause on that, you know what I'm saying, energetic, hardcore performance just on stage with Mama Said Knock You Out alone and just change the whole tone and the vibe of a versus. So it's all about presentation. Versus is pretty much has went from about, it's sort of like 40% songs now. Versus has went from pretty much just dealing with the actual songs and the music to now it's transitioned to more of just being about, overall performance. You know what I'm saying? Versus is pretty much 30%, well, I'm gonna say 40% songs, the songs you pick, but it's more or less 60% performance. So, I don't know, this would be interesting to see. Feel free to let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I don't know, I think in a Versus live on stage, if this were to happen, and we're not talking about lyrically here, lyrical, miracle, breaking it down to this very last compound, Hollis to Hollywood, but is it good? That's another LL Cool J song off of Mr. Smith album that was hot, Hollis to Hollywood, but is he good? That was my joint right there. But anyway, anywho, back on the spot. So overall, I would probably give a Versus victory to LL based off of the performance angle with it. But Jay-Z is a good performer, a hell of a performer too. The performance angle goes to LL, you know what I'm saying? Whereas the actual song and catalog and songs, I'm leaning towards Hov. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna say that though, because how can you beat records like I Need Love? How can you beat records like the Jack the Ripper or Rock the Bells? Those is timeless classic records right there that the foundation of hip hop was built on. If it wasn't for records like that, there would be no Hov. There would be no Jay-Z. LL Cool J was basically the foundation and the start of Def Jam Records, a label that Jay-Z eventually became the star of and eventual, CEO of, some 25, 30 years later. Now about 15, 20 years later, once Jay-Z became the CEO of Def Jam, and LL was still on that label, which made it a very uncomfortable situation. And that's part of the tension that they had between the two, that Jay-Z was the CEO on Def Jam, and LL was just the artist, and it's just a whole confusing situation. But LL Cool J did technically start Def Jam Records. And if it wasn't for Def Jam, there would be no Jay-Z, there would be no Rockefeller. Feel free to comment, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, y'all. And I will check y'all later. Yo, you already know it's AP on the spot. And yeah, just subscribe. Almost at 900 subscribers. Yo, we getting there. Anyway, listen, check y'all later. Peace.